What's up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Fine. I'll do it myself.
Savage.
And we're back. One Piece 1093 is out, and the fight between Luffy and Kizaru continues. We first met Kizaru back in 2008 during the Archipelago, and we've been waiting 15 years for this catharsis. This fight it's 15 years in the making. And I'm still on the fence of whether I want Luffy to win or I want Kizaru to win in this scenario, because realistically, it's always been my headcanon that Zoro should fight Kizaru. He's got a lightsaber. Come on. And not only that, Zoro was the first person who had an interaction with Kizaru, so there's a lot of elements there. I know a lot of people want Sanji to fight Kizaru. I don't and never have. That's just headcanon that was spread about because of that one opening. It is fun seeing Luffy do this, you know, all of the King Kong elements that we talked about, him tossing this man. Like, there is so many cool things that this fight is bringing, including what I am assuming is Kizaru's awakening. We talked about this when we saw Karasu get announced as a Logia. I was like, okay, now I have it all figured out, because this man is splitting parts of himself, giving them sentience, and sending them all across the world, right? His little crows. We've seen scenarios where the crows are there, but Karasu is not. So he's able to split himself apart and kind of create his own little messenger service. We've seen Akainu use Hellhound, and then the dogs kind of move on their own. Pheasant Beak with Aokiji. A lot of this is all very animal related, right? And Kizaru translates to yellow monkey. So what we're seeing here isn't necessarily a bunch of monkeys, but Kizaru has created clones of himself. They all have sentience. Maybe Oda's making a barrel of monkeys jokes, because they're all like in quick succession. It looks like they're kind of linked, and even when Luffy hits them with his whip, it kind of looks like just a barrel of monkeys all connected to each other as they're going down. Luffy makes a point where he calls them hollows, right? Making a reference to Perona's fruit. We still need to see what happened to Perona. I'm still expecting her to show up on Empty Bluffs with Moria. All right, there is a lot more to get into, especially all of this spicy stuff with Sanji. Get ready for that. But first, like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Here we go. Atlas has pulled a Tama at Onigashima and has sent the order to switch the Mark IIIs back onto our side. Right now, then we cut to Saturn, which was a foreshadowed moment in the beginning of the chapter where we're like, well, hey, thank God we're the only people with the highest authority here, right? Right, guys? Right? Yeah. Dramatic irony. No, because we know that we have Saturn close by. He doesn't want anybody to know that he's involved, but with this situation here, he may have to get involved. And that's a fun prospect, especially considering now that Bonnie is being surrounded by a bunch of Marines. Vegapunk, with Atlas, is going to get her. Vegapunk probably feels responsible for her due to his connection with Kuma, so he doesn't want anything to happen to her. He's taking full responsibility of this. I like the active nature that Vegapunk is, generating here in the story. And also, it's a fun idea that Sanji has tagged along to be the, protect Vegapunk squad. As they're moving along, Frankie joins in as well. The two science bros of the crew. Sanji is a science bro just because of his father. And then, of course, Frankie and Vegapunk spending more time together is just great. We need more of this. Frankie needs an upgrade. But what this could really be setting up is the trope that Oda uses a lot, where he has Sanji be kind of the Yamcha of the story, where, and I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, because everybody knows I'm a big Sanji fan, and I don't mean it to the same level that Toriyama used to use Yamcha, but if you think about like early Dragon Ball and all of this, Yamcha was the guy that would be used as a narrative purpose to fluff up whoever Goku was going to fight eventually. And throughout the story, Sanji has kind of done that. We've seen him have these like quick skirmishes where he fights someone that's, you know, not to power scale, but like out of his league, or whoever Luffy is going to fight. One of the most notable is in Dressrosa when Sanji like went up against Doflamingo for just, you know, a couple of pages. We also saw this with Virgo, with Enel, with all of CP9 on the Sea Train. There are plenty of instances, and this could be an opportunity for Sanji to be the first person to fight a Gorosei. And maybe he doesn't take down Saturn here, maybe it sets up an opponent for later, or, you know, maybe Saturn is meant to be the Bluno of the Gorosei and is actually the person that Luffy is supposed to take down here, and Sanji will eventually take down somebody else. But Saturn is the godhead of science, right? That's why he's on this mission to come over to Egghead in the first place. Sanji is a soldier, a warrior of science. He is a genetically enhanced being due to Judge. And then we also have Frankie, who is a cyborg. So could it be the two of them trying to hold back Saturn from killing Vegapunk until Luffy can get involved in that? That prospect is very interesting to me. Although one wrench into that is that we still don't know what's going on with the Blackbeard pirates, and my top choice for a Sanji fight is still Lafitte. We haven't seen Lafitte in a long time. If you watch the Math Piece video, we're getting close to some Blackbeard pirate anniversaries, including the last time that we saw Lafitte. So Oda may choose to bring back Lafitte on the anniversary of the last time that we saw Lafitte. We've been having some unplanned breaks, so I don't know if it's going to be 1096 anymore, but it's still, you know, probably going to line up with the issue volume if Oda chooses to go that way. Need heat on Lafitte, but I'm interested in Sanji versus Saturn. Now, a fun shakeup that I would actually like even more is if Saturn comes to the island and his first target ends up being Bonnie, but the person who saves Bonnie is actually Zoro, which would parallel the first moment with Bonnie where she protected Zoro from attacking a celestial dragon. So if Zoro attacks a, Gorosei, a celestial dragon of the highest order to protect Bonnie, that would be something really fun to eventually just flip on its head. And meanwhile, Vegapunk, Frankie, Sanji, and Atlas get held up because they run into the Blackbeard pirates and never actually make it to Bonnie. Jinbei, along with Sanji, went on a mission to get Vegapunk's luggage, to get all of the things that he needs, right? Because the island is being attacked, so there are certain things, obviously, that anybody who's lived at a particular place for a long time should be thinking about, hey, I might need that. What that signals to me as a reader of the story is that Vegapunk is not dying here. He's going to get off this island and he's going to utilize whatever is in these boxes to create something that is going to help our main characters. If there is any instance where Vegapunk doesn't leave this island with the main characters, it's got to be that he gets captured by Blackbeard. I don't see him going with the Marines. That means that they win. It has to be some sort of subversion, right? And Blackbeard needs the Mero Mero no Mi. Vegapunk knows how to recreate it. Maybe that's the way that Oda wants to go with the story. I don't know, but I think that Vegapunk goes with our crew to Elbaf and continues the cycle of everything that's Saul related. There were a ton of Star Wars references in this chapter. Vegapunk's ship looks like a TIE fighter. Bonnie, when she puts her hood up, looks like Darth Vader, and or Lord Helmet from Spaceballs. And we also have, a bunch of clone things going around. Kizaru's making some clones. Stussy's a clone. The Seraphim are clones. The Pacifista are clones, and it's about to be Attack of the Clones. Bonnie might be a clone. Who knows? Either way, lots of Star Wars references here. The one thing in this chapter that I was a little iffy about, and it's a lot of these like after the fact flashbacks, getting tired of them personally. The Sentomaru moment, I mean, it was cold, it was cool, but it was also, do we need this? And why do we need it now? Oda's trying to pack everything into a certain page amount, and then sometimes things get carried over into the next chapter, but, we're just jumping back 5 seconds, right? I don't know. That's one of those things that really should have just been a through line that was followed through completely. We see Kizaru kick Bonnie, falls, Sentomaru carries her, and then for a week we're like, oh, is Sentomaru going to get back up? But no, he just passes back out. The alternative to that is we just don't need it at all, and Bonnie was okay. One thing about Bonnie is that all of the people that have been theorizing that Bonnie is Katarina Devon, which I've never been on board about, you guys are in the mud because Bonnie has clearly used her powers. Now, for whatever reason, when Katarina Devon turns into somebody, if she's able to utilize their devil fruit powers as well, that's way too broken. That's not going to happen. This is Jewelry Bonnie. Now, could Katarina Devon, if she's on the island, be secretly portraying somebody else? Sure. We got some good bits with Zoro versus Lucci. Kind of looks like Lucci's got Zoro sweating a little bit, though. Hey, I mean, this man is going toe-to-toe with an awakened Zoan, and also putting respect on Zoro's name. 1, he's in his awakened form to fight him, and 2, he's calling him the, number 2 of an emperor, right? And this is also from the same guy who said that he wasn't going to recognize Luffy as an emperor. Well, that changed quickly, right? I'm not going to power scale here, but, Luffy and Zoro have always been neck and neck, like very close power-wise. And with Luffy to have been really just playing games with Lucci, it's not looking that great for Zoro. And we also don't have the context of whatever Zoro did or fought or how far his fights went in the previous day, so we don't know how battle damaged he is to even really scale this. I guess at the end of it, Zoro looks like he's getting serious, so we'll see. Maybe next week we'll get a little more focus on it. It's fun to be getting some Zoro focus again. It's fun to have the prospect of all the Sanji and Frankie focus that may be coming as well. We are leaving Nami, Usopp, Chopper, and Brook to the sidelines. I fully expect some major Robin stuff later on, but she's on the sidelines for now as well. Jinbei, he's UPS delivery man for the time being. The chapter ends in a way where we could start the next chapter somewhere that is not Egghead, and it's not going to feel like we're really missing out on something. But I am expecting to, continue the through line. Will Saturn start to make his move? Maybe. I don't expect him to arrive in the next chapter, but, maybe the next chapter ends with him getting out of his seat. I don't know. But either way, this was a fun one. It feels like things are starting to move, and we're getting closer to, some of these chapters and some of these anniversaries that we've been waiting for. I think we're going to have some exciting plot points that we're going to get into. So here's hoping. Other than that, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thanks everybody that's been supporting me in the meantime, and things are looking good for a resolution to at least the writer's strike. We'll still have to deal with the actor's strike. We are on break, so we'll have a theory for theory. Put who you'd like to see in the comments, and I will take considerations and suggestions. And I'll let everybody know either on the Discord or in the community post, as always, who the guest is going to be. And, we'll cook this weekend. And in the meantime, I'm going to get back to work on the reassembled Joy Boy video, which, all things going well, could release this coming week. All right. Thanks, everybody. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Later.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.